Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bureaucratic Battle Royale. My name is Aditya Barnwell, and I'll be representing the Department of Energy. Let's get into it. First, a little bit about us. Alright, about us. A little bit of overview, then relevance, then a little bit of why the American citizen should care. Right, so department overview right here. First, we have the Department of Energy, that's us. Employees, we have 14,000 federal employees, 19,000 management and operating contractors, and we are currently aiding 29,000 researchers from all over the area. We have college professors, college students, government, and leading industries in technological and energy research. Right. So we are the federal government's highest financial backer of physical science research. Now, what those last two things mean is we have open labs that are open to any researchers. They can use our equipment and our people in order to develop and enhance current technologies. Right? And we are, as when we said, the financial backers, we give out a lot of grants to smaller researchers for individual and specific projects. We also give out larger grants to more affluent and more successful larger firms. Right? These grants are usually in lieu of risky clean energy technologies. A lot of people don't want to get into the risky business of clean energy as there's a lot of new technology and it's sometimes hard to predict. We take care of that risk and by giving them grants. Just a little bit of basic operations. We have 85 field locations, 17 open source national laboratories. We have reach all over the world, New York to New Mexico to India to everywhere. Mainly because of our open source laboratories, which anyone can use as long as they're forwarding American and global technologies. Let's get into our mission statement. Now, this right here is our exact mission statement, word to word. The mission of the Energy Department is to ensure America's security and prosperity by addressing its energy, environmental, and nuclear challenges through the transformative science and technology solutions. Now, pretty much what this means is we are looking for America's future. We are pivoting a path for our future of green power and low carbon emissions through technology, and we're also cleaning up nuclear technology and we're making it safer to use. A couple of our responsibilities, main responsibility is the flow of energy throughout America, science and innovation, nuclear safety and security, also management and operations. A little bit about relevance, why the American people should care. We have the largest cleanup of nuclear weapons and research. Now, in World War II, a lot of nuclear weapons were tested and were researched. This left a lot of waste, and we're the largest government agency to start to clean that up. We have saved consumers up to $730 million in lifetime saving, is energy savings. This is American people as a whole, of course. We did this by innovating new technologies, new energy technologies, starting clean energy and renewable energy. These energy sources are often cheaper than, say, fuel, like oils or coal. The Department of Energy, just with your word to word, you know how it is. The Department of Energy is paving the path for science and reason to better our future and our present, from saving people's money to protecting our children from the disastrous effects of global warming. The DOE is dedicated to American citizens and the world as a whole. That concludes the About Us section. Let's get on to current projects. Right. So now I will be showing a list of all the current offices. These offices have their own subsets, but these are just the main offices. I will not be going through all of them as this is an extensive list, but later on we will discuss the main ones. So these are all the offices. We have the Office of Electricity, Office of Indian Energy Policies and Programs, Advanced Research Projects Agency. You get the gist. These are all of our offices that are currently working to advance American energy. So now we're going to review 4 major offices that are responsible for most of our budget and impact. First, let's start with energy. Future energy planning. That is what we do here. The Department of Energy has made it their mission, to investigate and implement clean and renewable energy sources. We heavily rely on hydropower, wind power. You get it. We are tasked with the responsible development and installation of all America's rich energy resources, including solar, wind, water, geothermal, bioenergy, and nuclear. We keep nuclear power in check, and we try to enhance wherever we can geothermal and bioenergy, mainly renewable energies. So now addressing a little bit of the non-renewable energies in America. Also, their effect on carbon emissions. We maintain emergency petroleum reserves, right? Now, while these do cause a lot of carbon emissions, we make sure that in any case, our country has power using petroleum or any other source. But we are moving towards more reliable and more effective renewable sources of energy. Our scientists are developing technologies to reduce carbon emissions, and we ensure oil use and supplies are environmentally sustainable. As things are going right now, we need to figure out new ways to generate energy, such as water, wind, solar. But we are making sure by regulations and limits to oil use and coal use, any non-renewable energy source use, that they are environmentally sustainable and less harmful than they otherwise would be. Let's get into electricity. Electricity is how Americans get their electricity to their homes, how buildings supply energy, and how the energy delivery system is generally there. As it says right here, national infrastructure. We maintain and ensure the nation's energy delivery system. We make sure it is resilient and reliable. Right. Our main focuses in this department are advanced grid research and development. This mentions the power grid, energy resilience, how long energy can survive using batteries, and making sure our infrastructure is intact in case of emergencies, natural emergencies or unnatural, you get it. And grid operations technology, making sure the smoothest and fastest energy. Now, real quickly, a real life example. The 2021 Texas winter storm. We've all have heard of it, and it displays the need for reliable energy. Their outdated and privatized power grid serves as an example of what can go wrong when electricity grids are mismanaged and or not adapted to current emergencies and problems. Right? If Texas wasn't on a privatized grid, we would come in and regulate it, and maybe things wouldn't go as bad. Right? We need this influx of budget to grow our reach and grow sustainable technologies. Let's get into the science factors of it. Right? We are known throughout the world as the sponsors of science, the federal government's highest financial backers of physical science research. You've heard this before, but it is pivotal in our mission. The DOE supports the development, construction, and operation of open access scientific faculties. As earlier stated, we have 17 of these scientific faculties, which are state of the art. We have a loan program office administered by the LPO, the Department of Energy's loan programs finance clean energy products and projects. Let's get into a little bit of nuclear. Our responsibilities. All right, nuclear responsibility. We have to clean the world to make it better. Us, as the Office of Nuclear Energy, are advancing nuclear power as a resource of our nation's energy supply, minimizing environmental downsides to nuclear power, i.e., cleanups, and just generally more sustainable nuclear power. And we make sure of nuclear energy security needs, such as any failures or emergency protocols. We come in and we regulate it. Right. Now, this goes hand in hand with our Office of Environmental Management. Right. This office deals with nuclear cleanup, and this nuclear waste goes back all the way back to World War II. You know, we see a lot of spent nuclear fuel, SNF, excess polonium and uranium, contaminated soil and groundwater. We have to come in and we have to clean this up so it is inhabitable again and that no one gets sick. So these are our main current projects and some of the non-main ones. Let's get into it a little bit further. Now these are our future goals. These are what we strive to get with our budget. We'll get into the budget aspect a little bit later, but let's just go over these plans. We want to ensure energy independence and invest in affordable, dependable, and efficient energy sources. These mostly refer to reusable energy such as wind, solar, water. You get the gist. We progress scientific innovation through the coming years. We do this mainly with our laboratories and open source grants. We continue to progress through major nuclear cleanup sites. We've been through this before. We need to get further ahead. We need to make new facilities. We need to break ground on nuclear cleanup. We are continuing to strive to strengthen cybersecurity domestically and internationally. This is our main source of budgetary requirements. Let's get into a little bit of the investments and money aspects of it. Now, the industries of the future is what we refer to as the technologies that will revolutionize the world. Now, these include quantum information sciences, machine learning, microelectronics, and genomic sciences. Right, so quantum information sciences, I'm sure you know what this is, very common. It's studying quantum physics in junction with machine learning to create faster processes and faster and more efficient computer systems that can handle a lot more. Now, microelectronics refers to miniature machines such as drones and such. Now, this is a lot of medical, and this has a lot to do with maintenance and environmental impacts. Alright, so this chart right here is our current proficiency in these matters. We have very low proficiency in quantum information sciences. That is a very new and up-and-coming science. Machine learning, we're doing it pretty good in. Microelectronics, we're actually getting pretty far ahead, even implementing it in some medical cases. But we are lacking in genomic research. Now, our increased budget, will go directly towards these and other projects. So let's get into energy, right? Now, here are points of interest where we want to upgrade our facilities and get more funding. The Office of Cybersecurity, this is a big one. With the internet booming, with everyone being online right now, the Office of Cybersecurity is making great strides in cybersecurity. Now, we need energy security and infrastructure. We've seen this with the Texas disaster. Right? We need proper infrastructure to instate renewable energy sources, like such as solar roads. And we just need to maintain our infrastructure as is, so to prevent any failings. Right? And we have to get better at emergency response. Now, I hate to go back to the Texas example, but our emergency response was lacking. And with higher budgets, we can make sure they aren't lacking anymore. Right? We see our current proficiency in these. Right? Cybersecurity, we're doing very good, but with the increase of cyber use, we need to get better. Infrastructure, we are generally good, but because of this Texas outbreak, yeah. An emergency response, well, we already know the deal. So, we need to upgrade these things, and with your help, we can. We need a higher budget. So, let's get into the budget part of it. Let's get into the money part of it. Our requested budget is $45 billion. While this may seem a lot comparable to our even defense. Sorry, that was a joke. It is not comparable to our defense use, but it is high. right? So we broke it down to four major aspects. Our investments, this is the facilities, the open source facilities, grants, and such. We would want $3 billion for these. Sciences, where we give out even more grants, where we have our own people working on specific projects to better us right now. We want $7 billion. For energy infrastructure and energy makes renewable energy, you get the gist. We want $5 billion. And for national and cybersecurity, because of the COVID pandemic, everyone is online right now, we need $30 billion. This also includes nuclear technologies and security. So let's get into the first two, investments and science, as they are very interlocked. This is a budget overview. This is what we'd be using the money for. Investments. Right, as I've mentioned before, Industries of Future initiative comes with the investment of over $3 billion in new and advanced areas of technology. We will be funding for clean energy initiatives, including experimental research, where people don't particularly want to spend money as they could lose it. We help massage those risks so people are willing to traverse the unforeseen landscape of experimental research, particularly in clean energy. Our science budget, we have $7 billion in funding for the Office of Science. This supports scientific research, construct and operate open access scientific user facilities, all mention sciences underneath our future plans. This goes for investments as well. Let's review energy and security. Budget overview of energy and security. Energy, $3.1 billion for funding energy development sector and advancing energy storage. Now, the energy storage, we're putting a lot of our efforts and money into hydrogen fuel cells. These are fuel cells that are much more efficient and larger than our current batteries, per se. We see Teslas engrossed and invested in this technology. We want to get there too. Right? So these are the main offices that will be using this budget in our energy section. We have the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energies. We have the Office of Fossil Energy and Research. We have the Office of Nuclear Energy, Office of Electricity, and the Office of Cybersecurity. Now, there's a lot of there. The cybersecurity depends in both areas because cybersecurity also pertains to energy infrastructure and cybersecurity as a whole. Right? Cybersecurity, as there's our most budget-eating office, covers a lot of areas. All right, so let's get into our national and cybersecurity more specifically. We want $30 billion for national security programs. Now, this includes, again, the entire Department of Energy is online. Our infrastructure and everything is vulnerable to cyber attacks, so we must beef up that. Our Office of Environmental Management, Office of Legacy Management, and NNSA Accounting for $20 billion. This is the National Nuclear Security Administration. We need $10 billion to sustain and modernize our U.S. nuclear stockpile, including $5 billion for stockpiling management and to support stockpile sustainment, dismantlement, and modernization of nuclear weapons programs. Right. So just a little bit of in-depth there. So what have we talked about? We have talked about our budget overview. Right. We are asking for $45 billion more than we've ever asked for before due to upcoming disasters, global warming, and our specific need for renewable energies. The Department of Energy is responsible for advancing energy, environmental, and nuclear security for the United States. The DOE. This has been our submission for the Bureaucratic Battle Royale. Aditya Barnwell. This is the Department of Energy. Give us the money, or we all might regret it.